high-ranked district. Here he goes, crossing himself. Oh! He's done.
He's done. He's done. Oh, I love that ad. That ad is the first promotional thing I made for any of those channels, and I still love it. All right, we're gonna jump straight back into this. I think we're about to get to the meat and potatoes of the patronizing. So let's go ahead and jump into the meat of this rotted sandwich. And please welcome back to the program the lovely Stephanie Holmes.
Hi.
Hey. All right, we're gonna roll the tape unless you want to cue us up again.
Nope.
All right.
Roll.
Thing. Let me try to explain this in Republican terms. How about that?
Yikes.
You fail at 100% of the things you don't try. If you never started your YouTube channel, we wouldn't be here right now, right?
Well, I started
You'd probably just be an observer. You'd just be in the.
I started my YouTube channel in 2012 to talk about Freeport, Maine politics.
Oh wow! I have not gone back that far.
Yeah,
but
well,
you had you.
What?
Or better.
No.
Just kind of poked around.
Yeah.
On Jay's
working.
streams.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
A couple of times at better by the time I went to better.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, my atheist activism, such as it was, got going around the atheist community of Austin, you know, and I wasn't willing to put up with their toleration of platforming a guy who doxed and did some shitty things to one of the people that contributed to them.
The drama ACA?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
I want to do double chat overlays. Oh my goodness.
So I sort of got back into it at that point.
Yeah.
And it's, again, around the issues. I don't care what your beliefs are. I care what you do. I don't care if Doug believes in God or not.
Who
I
hit
care
it with
what
the
he
values?
does. And he's a campaigner against
Crystal. I haven't seen that command in forever.
the rights of trans kids.
Crystal, I literally forgot that I wrote that. But look, this is something we've all got to wrap our heads around. We can't fall for the emotional pitter patter of what about the kids. Every trans person you know was a child. And Steph, I'm gonna let you take it over from here. But yeah, this issue with kids bothers me. Oh, Steph, I think you might be muted.
No, I'm not muted. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can, but I think you get it. And I don't, I think most people do get it. It's not hard to understand that, you know, It's like the shit. It's like the shit that in one chat recently, somebody decided to put, "Were you born a man?" It's like,
Oh my goodness.
it was on a line on I think it was on Takis or somebody. Said, "Were you born a man?" And I said, for myself, it wasn't directed at me, but it says, for myself, I was born a baby. I don't know how many people were born full grown up human. It's like hard to make that work biologically. Biologically speaking, were you born a man? No.
And it's very no. It's also just it's very hard to take questions like that as sincere questions. I am unfortunately subscribed to Quora, right? Somehow, and I get these like Quora discussion questions in my email all the time, and it's like, is it okay to shower with my 15-year-old daughter? Right. And there's always the comments that are like, these Quora questions, I don't think there's something about them that makes it seem like, normal. This is not a normal question for a real person to be asking. And that's what a lot of these YouTube comments are like. They're like bot questions. They're not a question that a civilized person asks another civilized person in polite company. So that's what I'm gonna start saying, y'all. That's from now on, y'all. When I say that sounds like a Quora question, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just weird, and you're right. It's like what the way the no single narrative of anyone's life, be they cis or trans, is going to be, is there a typical cis person's trajectory in their life? When did you know you were cis? Anybody ever asked that question? When did you know you were trans? Well, I didn't know I was trans. I just knew I was a girl when I was very young. And I expressed that. Not well, I've at the age of 3, I heard of Dr. Harry Benjamin in New York. You ought to contact him because I'm actually a girl. No, I was doing something. My mom said, good boy, and I said, no, girl. I knew I was trans the way a 3-year-old would know they were. I knew I was a girl the way a 3-year-old would know that he was a boy.
Yeah.
That's not a universal thing. I mean, the time at which somebody realizes that there's a disconnect between their gender and their sex, it varies. So it's not a universal thing. But the thing is, there are some people who do face these issues at a very young age.
Absolutely.
And the whole idea is to, when it comes to gender affirming care or care around these issues, is to let the child explore. Sometimes the child will be, as the medical diagnostics would have it, consistent, insistent, and persistent in their gender identity. And those are the children that go on to be, that go and have be given the opportunity to socially transition, and perhaps given the choice in working with the families and their doctors and all of this, to have the option of being administered GnRH analogs or puberty blockers, to give them additional time to work out the stuff. Is this where you feel you must go? If they had been available to me would have done them in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Right.
If the kind of understanding that is extant today in 2023 as opposed to 1957, it would have been so much easier for myself, my family. And these are the kinds of things that this is why I argue, because I remember I have vivid memories of what it was like to be a trans kid, and it wasn't fun. It was essentially de facto conversion therapy because nobody understood it.
Yeah, for me, I always, relate in a certain way in this conversation because I knew so young, in terms of, I guess what we would now call my sexual orientation or whatever. And everyone around me knew really young, right? Like I had those play girlfriends when I was 5 or whatever. Like you knew even at a very early age, leave me alone in a room with some pretty girls. It's going to be a whole lot of kissing going on. So you might want to check your plans, and so when I think about how that was just accommodated and acknowledged and kind of dealt with, it's hard to convince me somebody doesn't know earlier than they can remember. I don't have memories of my life before that awareness, right? And then the other thing that your comment brought to my mind is the regressiveness of all of this, that we've made these advances in medicine and now they wish to legislate them out of their appropriate use. And that's what hangs in the balance. And I don't understand how he's not making that connection here. But 2, people got to stop acting like it doesn't make a difference, because just look at the elections we just had where, for instance, abortion rights led to predictably red states and offices flipping blue. So these things do matter and they can change.
Yeah, they can. And, I don't think most people actually give a fuck about the trans issue, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people put that as a top priority in terms of the kind of governance we get. It's a useful tool to motivate bigots to get to the polls. And they seem to reliably vote for the Republican Party. That they found this to be a useful tool, just the way they found the gay panic to be a useful tool. Most of the language is exactly the same.
Yep.
I mean, it's a useful political tool. Unfortunately, real people get hurt as a result.
Absolutely.
And it's not a joke. I mean, Mike Johnson believes in his heart. James Carville did a wonderful piece on where Mike Johnson grew